Hello everybody, and thanks for checking out my review of the Casio Edifice ECBS100D 1ACF. This is with module number 5658. I want to give a special thanks to Casio for sending me this watch for review. For full disclosure, no request was made by Casio for a favorable review, and no request to review before I uploaded it. Now, if you like this review, please click the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future reviews. Now to unbox it. Alright, so to get into the unboxing, you have the standard blue Edifice Casio box, and on the back you have a barcode, and it's just white lines across here. And opening up the box, you have your paperwork, of course. So you get a card that prompts you to download the Edifice Connected application, so this way you can do settings through your application on your smartphone. You have the instruction manual in multiple languages, and it's module number 5658, so you can look that up on Google and get instructions downloadable. You have the warranty card, information on solar, and FCC information because this is a Bluetooth product. And getting into the box, you have the Edifice tin, and of course it's got the same color code as the box. And opening it up, you have the watch. The Edifice ECBS100D is my favorite release so far in the Edifice lineup. It's available, as you see here, in the stainless steel and black dial with the red accent. They also have it available in stainless steel with a blue face and a black version with black face and blue sections. These are really good looking watches with a lot of functionality and versatility, and let me go over the features. Physically, the watch looks amazing. The ECBS100D is 100 meter water resistant. The size is 50 millimeters by 46 millimeters by 9.8 millimeters thick. It weighs 138 grams. Its analog digital display makes it easy to work with. Casio developed the Edifice line as a racing watch, and the ECBS100D is the higher end of the Edifice lineup and features a sapphire crystal with anti-glare coating. The three-dimensional dial's dark metallic mesh is inspired by the grille of a sports car. It's a great looking detail, and the brushed stainless steel sections mark the functions. This dial reminds me of the Gia's lineup from G-Shocks years ago. The ECBS100D works with low power Bluetooth, so battery power doesn't get affected as much as it used to when it connected to a smartphone. This allowed Casio to reduce the size of the solar panel of the watch, which let them get more creative with the dial and work with more functionality, adding digital features. The brushed stainless steel bracelet sizes with friction pins. It's very flexible, very comfortable, and there are polished sections between the inner links. The clasp has the two buttons on the side and folds over. It's got the micro adjustments on the side of the clasp to fine-tune the fit. There's no crown on this watch, it only uses the 4 buttons. The screw back case is stainless steel. Etched on the back is basic information on the watch and Bluetooth, and it marks the functions of the buttons. The hands and the markers around the dial have lume, and the top right button activates the bright white double LED light, which lights up the dial and the digital displays so it's easy to read in the dark. You could use it to light up for 1.5 or 3 seconds, and here's how it looks. The low-power Bluetooth wirelessly functions with the Edifice Connect app on the iPhone and Android smartphones. I'll go over the app shortly. The 5658 module features hand shift, which moves the hands out of the way so you can see the digital displays when using them. So to activate it, all you have to do is press the top right hand button here with the lume, and then the mode button. You'll hear a confirmation beep and the hands will move out of the way so you can see the subdials. Now, going over the modes on the ECBS100D, first of all, the world time shows 38 time zones and allows you to switch from world time to home time with the application. So the nice thing about this is you can either press it individually, one button at a time press, or you can hold it in and it'll scroll for you. And then once you get to the time zone that you're looking for, you'll notice that the scrolling here gives you the full name of the city that you're looking at. Now, the watch also features a 1/100th second stopwatch, and all you have to do to activate it is press the bottom right hand button, and you'll see that the stopwatch begins. And to stop it, you press it again, and to reset it, you press the top left. Now the countdown timer gives a 60-minute countdown timer with progress beeper that you can turn on or off. So the progress beeper is pretty handy, and what I did was I set it up with 30 minutes and 5 seconds. So when you start it, at 30 seconds you're going to hear a beep. And then you watch the sub-dial over here and it counts down from that 30 minutes. That also works with the alarm as well. And to stop the countdown timer, you press the bottom right hand button again, and to reset it, you press the top left hand. Now if you wanted to set it up, of course, you press the setting button here, and then you could move the minutes. You press the bottom left and you move the seconds. And then once you're set, you press the setting button, and then you could start it when you're ready to go. Now the alarm mode gives 5 daily alarms with progress beeper that you can turn on or off just like you can with the countdown timer. It works the same exact way. So once you get down to that 30 minutes counting for an alarm, you'll hear a beep, and then you'll see that sub-dial move up to the 30-minute mark just like the countdown timer, and then it counts down until the time of the appointment or the time of the alarm is set. Now to go through the 5 alarms, you press the bottom right hand, and it goes from alarm 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you have something that I think a lot of people love to have is the hourly time signal that beeps 2 times at the top of the hour. Now you can toggle all the alarms on or off by using the settings button here. So you'll see on the top over by the 3 o'clock, it'll go on, or the 3 dashes for off. Now the bottom right hand of the sub-dial shows the battery charge in a low, mid, high, and the hand points to the Bluetooth mark when connected with your smartphone. Now you can also toggle on the day of the week or the time by pressing the setting button on the top left, so it could toggle it back and forth on whatever you want displayed. So to go into the settings on the watch is fairly easy to work with. So all you'd have to do is go into the top left hand button, and you hear the confirmation beep and it's ready to go into settings. So the first setting you're going to go into is you're going to scroll up or down on the time zone that you're in, and you can scroll up and down using the right hand buttons. So I'm in New York City. And then the next one you have here is your auto daylight savings. So you can turn it to automatic, on or off. Then you go into your seconds, your hours and your minutes, year, the month, the day of the month, 12 or 24-hour format. You have the month and date format. This depends on what part of the world you're in. You have English and multiple languages. And this is the feature I was telling you before that you could turn on or off. This gives you the progress beeper you could turn on or off there. You have the keys, so every time you press a button, it's either going to mute, or you can have it where it beeps every time you press one. You have the light where you can do it 3 seconds or 1.5 seconds. And then your receive on or off, so this way it knows to connect with your smartphone application to automatically receive the time. You have power save on or off. And that's it. So that's setting up the watch on the actual watch manually. And now I'm going to go into the settings on how to do it with the application. Alright, so now I'm going to walk you through the Edifice Connect application. So as it shows you on the screen, what you want to do is connect, push the bottom left hand button for 3 seconds, and then you'll see that the sub-dial at the 9 o'clock moves over to the Bluetooth signal. And now it'll connect. Takes a moment, then you'll get the confirmation. So the first thing I'm going to show you here is to view the guide, and what's handy about this is it walks you through all the manual settings of the watch. So that's handy, and then if you push on the bottom here, see the watch manual, it'll take you to Casio's website and give you a full manual on it. Now you go into the stopwatch mode, and this gives you log imports on all the stopwatch modes that you've used. So this way it kind of logs the data. So if you have a race, if you're trying to beat certain times, you can actually log the data on the date and time, which is very handy to have if you are competitive. you have the world time, and the world time is pretty easy to work with here. So what you want to do is go into the city of the world time, and you could change it to whatever you want it to. So for instance, if I wanted to look up California, LA for instance, or Vegas, here we go. So I'll go to Vegas, and then I can set the city to the watch. So it takes a few moments, and then it's going to give me a confirmation that it's going to hook up with it. You'll see it move on the map. Takes me to Vegas, and then it sets it over to the watch. And that's in the world time settings. Now what you could do is switch the world time and the home time using the application. So you just press the middle here. You'll see it switch over on the application, and then it gives you the option to send it over to the watch. And then if you look at the watch, you'll see that it'll automatically set it over to the time settings that you just set on the application. And the hands move pretty quick. And Vegas is now set to the watch. Now if I want to move that back, I press the button again, I send it over to the watch, and it moves me back to my home time. So this is great for people that travel a lot. You'll see the hands move back over, and we're set to go. And now next up you have the time and place, and this basically logs a point memory. So if you press that bottom right hand button, it's going to use your phone's GPS and mark exactly where you're at and what time you were there. And then you can go into your utility, and you have the alarm settings, and you could toggle the alarms on or off. So if I go in and I set alarm number 1, toggle it on, and then it allows me to set it, and it sets it up in 24-hour format. So if I go into 8 o'clock in the morning, I send it over to the watch, and now 8 o'clock in the morning it'll go off, and if I want to turn that off, I just press the off button, send that over to the watch, get the confirmation, and it's removed from the watch. And same with the hourly time signal. I could turn that on or off and send that to the watch as well. Then you have your countdown timer. And so I set it up for 30 minutes and 5 seconds. I could set it up to 15 minutes, whatever I want to. And once I have that, I send it over to the watch, and it's automatically set. And now if you see on the top right hand of the app, you'll see a little gear. You press that, and you press for the watch that you're using. And then this allows you to get into deeper settings. So for instance, if I go into unit setting, I can go into kilometer or mile. If I go into phone finder settings, this allows me to press a button and it basically hunts down my watch if I lose it. Go into operating check of auto time adjustment function. So this basically lets me know once a week that everything went through as it's supposed to. So I actually get a notification on my screen that the Edifice and the app are in sync. Now I can get a countdown start tone, and this is what I was talking about earlier. I can turn that on or off, so this way when I have 30 minutes left for either the countdown timer or the alarm, I would get the beep if I want, or I can turn it off. You have the watch display settings, so you could set it up for 12 or 24-hour format. You could set it up for month of day or day and month, depending on what part of the world you're from. And then you could set the language as well. Then you could set the operation sound, and that's whenever you press the button, it'll either hear a tone or not hear a tone. You could set the time for connecting to the app. So for instance, I'm in the app right now. If I stop using it for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, and it automatically disconnect after that time frame to save battery life on both the watch and my phone. Then I have my time adjustment. So this sets it up to where it'll automatically sync once a day and make sure that the time is constantly up to date with the application. You have the set light illumination duration, so this will allow me to set it for 1.5 seconds or 3 seconds. You have the power saving settings, So if you keep the watch in a dark place between 10 o'clock and 6 o'clock, it automatically enters a power saving mode, so this way it saves the battery life on the watch. Nice feature here is if you bump the watch really hard and knock the hands out of alignment, this actually allows you to put it back into alignment by pressing the buttons there. And then you have summertime settings for daylight savings time, so you can set it for auto, on, or off. And you'll notice most of the settings on this application mimic the settings that you're going to get manually that I went over earlier in the video. So, both of these work hand in hand. It just comes down to preference on how do you want to work with it. But either way, as you can see that I'm walking through these settings, this watch is very easy to work with. So that's how you work with the application. And then once you're done, you could press disconnect. And that's the Edifice Connect application. Alright, so here's a wrist shot. I'm going to show you an overhead shot, and I'm going to show it to you at an angle. So this is the overhead shot. So as you can see, it's not too overbearing. I have 7.5-inch wrist. And to me, it wears very well. And here's a wrist shot where it is on the angle. It's a very comfortable watch, very flexible bracelet, so it adds to the comfort. Like the G-Shock line, Casio is getting more innovative with these modules to make these watches highly functional while offering up some attractive and versatile designs with everyday wear that'll appeal to a lot of people. The Edifice has come a long way, and it surprises me that Casio does not market these more aggressively. The Casio Connect apps have been very intuitive, responsive, and reliable to work with, and I've never had issues with the apps crashing or the watches losing connections. Setting the watch up on the watch isn't difficult, but the apps do make it a lot easier to work with. My only complaint is that the negative digital displays are small and not as easy to read in darker rooms without using the backlight. I'm really happy that Casio added Sapphire to the mainstream watch. I always prefer it because it doesn't scratch as easy as Mineral Crystal. Casio also has a special edition Honda Racing white dial version of this watch, which looks beautiful. I'd like to see them add this to the regular lineup. I really believe Casio checked a lot of boxes on this watch with what someone looking for a stainless steel racing style watch would be looking for. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go next. So I want to thank Casio again for sending me this watch for review. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future reviews. Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this watch. So I want to thank you so much for taking time out to watch this review. Really appreciate the support. Stay safe and have a great day.